Hi Year 2, welcome to British Values today and welcome to my lesson. I'm going to be talking to you about positivity and well-being today. Let me start by sharing my screen. So positivity and well-being. Well, firstly, before I start the lesson, what do I mean by positivity and well-being? They might be words you've heard before, they may not be. So let me explain them. By positivity, I mean believing things are good, having an outlook of being optimistic. That was great, or I'm looking forward to this. It's believing things are going to be good. Oh, I hope that film's going to be great. I can't wait to read that book. About having a good attitude about things that are going to be coming or things you are doing. When I talk about well-being, I'm talking about being happy and healthy. So having a good well-being is thinking that you are happy and you are healthy. And we need to take care of our well-being. And we speak about things we do for our health, such as our healthy diet and our exercise. But we also need to take care of our mind, what we can sometimes call our mental health. And we want to be happy. We won't be happy all the time in life because sad things happen. But what we have to try not to do is to be sad for long periods of time. We want the majority of our emotion in life to be happiness. So really, we want to be a positive person with a really good well-being. Let's just start a little bit more about positivity. And this is a famous sort of question that I'm sure your parents have heard before, but let's have a look here. Which one are you? So looking at these two glasses, would you say the glass is half full? Think about fractions. Or would you say the glass is half empty? What would you say? Half full or half empty? Tell me now through the computer. Well done. Thanks for sharing. Now here, Year 2, there's no right or wrong because it is half full and it is half empty. But this is about positivity and being optimistic. Someone who has good positivity is someone who will go, oh, it's half full. I still have another half to drink. Whereas if you say it's half empty, it's a bit more negative. Maybe, oh, I've only got half left. We want to try and be a bit more positive, okay? Because when you are positive in life, I believe that you can start to achieve more things. By saying I can do this, okay, means that you're more likely to achieve it. So, for example, if you're someone who, say, struggles with handwriting, you find handwriting difficult. If you're positive, you'll be saying, I will get there one day. I will improve. And if you have that positive attitude, you're more likely going to get there. You're more likely going to have beautiful handwriting because you're more likely to practice. You're more likely not to give up. So having that positive attitude really does help. And I spoke about this a few times in the video. It's rather than I can't do this, it's I can't do this yet. That word yet is someone who's positive, what they would say. So we want to be this glass is half full. If you did say half empty, don't worry though. Okay, don't worry. We want to start thinking more in a positive attitude. And sometimes we might be the most positive person going. I think I'm quite positive. I try and come into school. I feel happy, jolly. I'm looking forward to teaching my class. I really want to have a good day. But sometimes in life, even positive people can feel a little bit negative. That's human emotion. That's natural. But the goal is to try and be positive. Okay. And what can we do to become more positive? All right. So that's something we'll be looking at today. And the other word we're going to be looking at is well-being, about that physical happiness, well, being physically kind of healthy, but also mentally healthy and having that happiness. All right. And so when we start talking today is, well, what really makes us feel happy? Because it's so important that we spend most of our time in sort of positive emotions, happy emotions. We don't want to spend most of our life feeling sad or lonely or upset. All right. And if you were feeling those for large amounts of time, then we need to talk about it. And that's what some of this lesson will be discussing. But let's focus really at the start on what makes us happy. So let me share this video here. But I need to do one thing quickly, because I need to make sure you can hear it. So I'm just going to share my screen one more time, okay? Look at me, I could be upset now, but I'm going to be positive. The fact that I made an error and not worry about it, okay? I'm going to be positive. So let me share this video. This is what makes some children happy.
Okay, what makes you happy?
Don't judge me. I like rainbows, sparkles, and unicorns. I'm that kind of girl.
What makes you happy?
What makes me happy? What makes me super happy? Eating candy. Eating bacon.
Usually just eating.
My favorite foods makes me happy. Ice cream, bubblegum, cotton candy,
Tacos.
chicken candy, and feeding live mice to my friend Snake. That brings me joy.
What makes you happy?
Animal cats, playing with chickens.
Puppies.
My dog. He's sweet and so cuddable. Oh.
What makes you feel happy?
Something that makes me happy is when they play my brother's iPad with me. A toy. When I get my ghost. Having a play date. Putting on electronics. Playing games.
Inside games or outside games?
Inside games.
What's your favorite game?
Dragon City. Pokemon. Roblox.
Super Smash Bros.
What about when you lose in video games?
I don't care that much because I know I'm really bad.
It's not about winning. It's about having fun.
What makes you happy?
When I get to watch movies. I try to find the movies that are free online.
Playing board games.
Dance parties.
Yeah, being in a pool and in a hot day.
When I go swimming.
What makes you happy?
Friendship.
Yeah, I have more friends than I can count.
When a friend comes over.
Seeing all my long lost friends.
If there's something like fun, like if all my friends are like playing a game and they say I can play, yeah, that's what makes me happy.
So lots of things there that make those children happy. And it's important to always remember, year 2, what makes us happy. Because as I said earlier, sometimes in life, we might not feel so happy. Okay, sometimes in life, unfortunately, things can happen that can make us feel sad. Maybe we've had a little disagreement with a friend on the playground. Okay, maybe the last bit of food that we wanted has gone. Maybe your sister is playing on her iPad and doesn't want to play that game with you. All right, there are things at times that won't make us happy, but we must always remember there are things that do make us happy. And that's something I'll be talking about later, is always holding on to what makes us happy and not forgetting that. So the first activity we're going to be doing today is thinking what makes you happy. So on your task sheet, you have got a list of 3 things to write down. So you need to name 3 things that make you happy. If you don't have a task sheet and you don't have a printer, don't worry, just be positive, and all you need to do is write it down on a piece of paper. So if I stop sharing my screen here, hopefully you can see I've got a piece of paper and I need to name 3 things that make me happy. Now, I don't want you to rush. I want you to think, what 3 things really make you happy? Well, I know what one thing that makes me happy is traveling. I love going to different places. So I went, as some of my class and I went to China last year for Christmas, and I love seeing the different culture and seeing different customs, eating different foods. So one thing I love to do that makes me happy is traveling. Traveling. I love traveling. Okay, and I know also one thing that makes me very happy is going for food with friends. I'm going to leave a little gap there. Food with friends. Look at my neat handwriting always. And say the third thing that makes me very, very happy, I must say, one thing that makes me extremely happy is teaching. I love teaching. Generally, the best thing about my job is I come home from it and I don't feel like I've wasted my day. I never worry about going into work. I genuinely enjoy it thoroughly. So I've written 3 things, not everything that makes me happy, but I've chosen 3 things that make me happy. What I'd like you to do now is to choose 3 things that make you happy. So on your piece of paper, please write down 3 things that make you happy. Pause the video and off you go. Look forward to seeing someone, Cecil. Well done. Hopefully you've got 3 things that make you happy. Maybe it's playing football. Maybe you wrote down playing on the playground with your friends. Maybe you wrote your mum, your dad, or your brother or your sister. Maybe playing board games. Who knows? We all have different things that make us happy. There's no right or wrong here. You know, it's what we call subjective. It's down to you. Okay. It's what makes you happy, and the fact that we all have different things that make us happy also is what makes us unique. Unique meaning one of a kind. All right. So it's really important we always remember what makes us happy, because as I said, we won't always feel happy, but when we do start to ever feel sad or frustrated, we can always think, actually, there are lots of things that make me happy, and I'm going to focus on those. So as I said, are we always happy? Are we always happy? The answer is no. What other emotions can you feel if you are not feeling happy? I haven't got a pause sign, but pause the video if you want to. I'll stop talking for a second. Have a think and tell me through the computer, what other emotions can you feel? What other human emotions can you feel? Well, I've heard a few different ones there, people talking to me through the computer. So let me share some of the ideas that I came up with earlier. If we're in school, obviously I'd be taking your ideas now and writing them down. But let's have a look at just, 6 that I came up with that a human may feel. You might feel loneliness. Okay, linked a bit with sadness. You might feel that you're a bit alone. And I've had children come up to me on the playground at the end of play. I haven't had someone to play with, and I like the fact that that person told me that, because then what we can do as your teachers, we can then help you. If you have a problem, best thing to do is to always share it. So you might feel loneliness, anger. If something's not going your way, maybe you're feeling a little bit angry. Maybe you're getting frustrated that you can't do something. Maybe it's sadness. Maybe you lost a pet, okay? Maybe you lost something that means a lot to you, so you feel sad. Maybe frustration, similar to anger. Oh, Mr. Wernick, I'm just not able to spell this word ever. Human emotion. It's okay to feel that emotion at times. It doesn't make you a bad person if you feel loneliness, anger, sadness, frustration. If you feel worry, we all feel worry, that sort of feeling in our stomach like something's not quite right. Sometimes called anxiety, you might have heard it known as. And we all feel it sometimes for different reasons. We have different what we call triggers that cause us to feel worry, cause us to feel anxious. Some of you can get worried if I ask you maybe to read in front of the class, because you feel like maybe everyone's watching you. It's normal to feel worry, but we must always remember in year 2 and in ARCA and in schools that people want others to do well. Okay, no one ever laughs at anyone. All right, so even though we might know that, we can still have that worry then, and maybe we might sometimes feel jealousy, that wanting of what someone else has. These are all human emotions. We can all feel these emotions sometimes, because unfortunately, year 2. We might not always feel just happiness, okay? And there is the argument of, if you were always happy, would you even know it? Maybe happiness is a great feeling, because sometimes we do feel sad. We do feel worried, right? As a teacher and as a person, I should say, I have felt all of these emotions before, okay? Unfortunately, I would love to say I'm always happy, but Sometimes I do feel sad. I remember when I lost my cat when I was about your age. Felt really sad. Okay, I felt worried before. Some of you might know I love traveling, but sillily, in a silly way, I find flying a little bit scary for some reason. Even though it's so safe, I get a bit worried before I get on a plane. Okay. Sometimes I felt loneliness in school when I thought, oh, maybe I've got no one to play with today, or my friends, my best friends off school. These are all human emotions, ones we will all feel. But when we do feel those, we need to realise that's okay. That's what being a human is. We have the capacity to have all these different emotions. I'm going to read you, well, I'm not going to read you, I'm going to play you a story now called The Colour Monster. Okay, so you're going to get to just listen to a lovely story.
Today we are reading The Colour Monster, a story about emotions by Anna Yennis. This is the Colour Monster. Today he woke up feeling confused and he doesn't know why. Are you all mixed up again, Colour Monster? Your emotions don't work well when they're all jumbled up. You should try to separate them and put each one in its own jar. If you'd like, I can help you. Let's try to make sense of how you feel. This is happiness. It shines yellow like the sun and twinkles like the stars. When you're happy, you laugh and jump and dance and play. You want to share your happiness with everyone. This is sadness. It is lonely and blue like a rainy day. It washes over you like the sea. When you're sad, you hide and want to be alone. You don't want to do anything except maybe cry. It's okay to cry, Colour Monster. This is anger. It burns red like a fire and is hard to stamp out. When you're angry, life can feel unfair. Sometimes you want to take out your anger on others. But I'll be nice to you, Colour Monster, and your anger will disappear. This is fear. It hides and runs away like a mouse in the night. When you're afraid, you feel tiny. You think you don't have the courage to face the gray shadows. But I can help you find your way. This is calm. It is quiet like the trees and as light as green leaves swaying in the wind. When you're calm, you breathe slowly and deeply. You feel at peace. Now you can rest, Colour Monster. All your feelings are in the right place. See? Don't you feel much better? Uh-oh. I see you're feeling something new. You look different, Colour Monster. Tell me, how do you feel now?
Okay, so that is the story of the Colour Monster. That monster had all its emotions muddled up and he couldn't work out which emotion was what. So what do you think is the message of the book? What's the book about? Not what the storyline is. We know there was a monster, lots of emotions, and he had to separate. But what do you think the point of the book is? What has it taught you? Feel free to pause the video now and tell me through the screen. Well, I think the book is about, it's explaining that we all have different emotions. You know, sometimes you can feel calm, sometimes you can feel happiness. You know, it's perfectly normal to have all these different emotions. And that's not a bad thing. You spoke about when the Colour Monster had that sea of sadness coming over and wanting to cry. That's okay. Sadness is a human emotion. Obviously, we don't want to always feel sad, but there's times when we will. And when those times come, we must realise, one, it's okay, and two, this won't last forever. Okay, really important. So why do we feel different emotions? Well, because we have different things happen in our lives. We could feel happiness when we're running around with our best friends on the climbing frame, or showing one of the teachers a dance routine you've made at lunch, or maybe playing a game of football. Those sort of things will give you happiness. But there will be times when things happen year two where we feel sadness, which I spoke about that earlier. Maybe a pet has passed away. Maybe a friend of yours has moved schools. Okay, there's lots of different things that can cause sadness. Sometimes it's a very big trigger when we lose someone we love. Sometimes sadness and frustration maybe are caused by, not being able to have that toy you wanted. But we must always think about the emotions and why we're feeling them and what we can do to help ourselves. And I said this before, is it okay to feel different emotions? Of course it is. They're normal things to do. As I told you, I have felt all those different emotions before. All right, it's part of what makes us really, that we do feel these emotions. And sometimes some things will happen where one event happens and people will react differently to it. And that's okay too. Not everybody reacts the same to certain triggers. Some people might try and be a bit more positive or resilient, go, oh, that doesn't bother me. Whereas some people might be thinking, you know what, that does upset me. Neither attitude is wrong, but it's just people react differently. Okay, so it's okay to feel different emotions. But the important thing now is, what do we do if we ever feel these negative emotions? Because ultimately, it's much better, much more enjoyable. Life is much more fun when we're feeling happy, when we're feeling loved. Okay, so what do we do when we are feeling worried, angry, or sad? And what I'm about to tell you, it's not a golden rule. Some things work for different people. Okay, and as you grow up year two, you'll start to realise that different kind of techniques, doing different things might stop you feeling worried, angry, and sad. But they might work for you, but might not work for a different person. All right, so, and there's different things that happen in life where, they might need a different way of overcoming the sadness. Okay, for example, let me take you through what I think. Okay, so number one, if you ever feel angry, sad, worried, one, know that it is okay. These are human emotions. It's not a strange thing. It might not be pleasant, it might not be nice, but it is normal. You don't need to be worried about feeling angry, sad. You don't even need to be worried about feeling worried. Okay, perfectly normal that we feel these things. Two, find a safe space. That might be a physical place, such as the book corner, or a place where you go in your head. So if you did the meditation over half term, you might be thinking about that tree house that you go to where you can feel calm. And take some deep breaths to calm down. It will help relax you. So if I'm ever feeling worried, angry, or sad, some deep breaths are very, very calming. Let's even try this now. We're going to do 3 deep in and out breaths. So join me, please. So off we go. And in and out. And in and out. It calms you. Okay, it calms you. So do that in a safe space. Maybe that's your bedroom if you're at home. Maybe your book corner at school. Maybe next to your teacher if you're at school. Or maybe it's a place where you can just close your eyes on the bench and teleport to a place that you feel calm and happy. And there you can start to relax then. If you do that and you still feel worried, you're still feeling a little sad about an incident or maybe a little bit angry, I always think talk to someone. Talk to your teacher, your co-teacher, your parent. Talk to an adult, okay? Sometimes it's good to obviously share with our children, But the reason I say adults is just because year 2, sometimes adults, we might be a bit boring at times, but we do have a bit more experience on things. So we can always help you with what we've been through. So talk to someone to share why you are feeling these negative emotions. And that's so important, that it's okay to share feeling sad. It's never, ever anything to be feel embarrassed about, okay? I lost someone once, very important to me, and I put off talking about it for a long time. But when I did finally start to talk about it, it made me feel so much better, okay? And I had all the emotions. I was tearful, I was crying, but that's okay. Why? They're human emotions. But sharing these negative feelings helps so much more. It really does. And your teachers are always there to talk to you. Your parents and guardians are always there to talk to you. So please do, okay? You never have to keep it a secret if you're feeling sad. Keep it a secret that you're worried or angry. If you share it and we talk about it, it's starting that journey to being much happier, which is where we want to be. Another technique you can do is to record or write down why you felt like you did. So having a little diary explaining why you felt sad and what you did to overcome it. Because if you do that, if you feel that emotion again, you can always go back and read what you did last time. And it reminds you that it's okay to feel like this. But I will say one thing, if you're always feeling a little bit sad or a little bit worried or a little bit upset, step 1, talk to somebody. You know, put it in the worry box at school. Each classroom has one, but I would always rather you come straight to me, straight to Miss Head, straight to Miss Baldwin, you know, Miss Evans, Miss Razik, whatever your co-teacher is or your teacher, please do talk to them. Talking helps. I promise you, year 2, talking helps. Anyway, what we're going to do now, your next activity on your sheet is name a time you have felt a negative emotion. Then write down what you could do if you felt it again. Okay, let me stop sharing my screen. And hopefully you can now see my piece of paper. So name a time you have felt a negative emotion. So anger, sadness, worry. Okay. A time I felt worried, I remember it was my first day teaching this year. So I had that negative emotion, that anxiety, that worried. So my first day teaching MIT, my first day teaching MIT, I felt worried. What did I do when I felt worried? What do you think I did? I'll tell you. I talked to somebody. So what was my negative feeling? My first day teaching MIT, I felt worried. But let's pretend I didn't know what to do. What could I do now? I could acknowledge that's an okay feeling. Definitely. This is perfectly normal. It's a human feeling to be worried. I could write down why I'm feeling worried. I could try and think about it in like a sensible way. What's the worst thing that's going to happen in this first day? The children might not like me. That's unlikely. You know, I'm going to be friendly. I might teach something not as well. Well, that's okay. It's my first day teaching after the summer holidays. But what I did do was I spoke to a colleague, I spoke to another teacher. I spoke to another teacher who gave me confidence, I had lost MIT a year 2, a bit of my positivity that day. Normally I'm really positive and I think, you know, I'm going to do the best I can do. You know, I'm chosen to be a teacher. I'm going to do the best I can do. But I lost it a bit that day because sometimes, even if you're a positive person, sometimes your positivity, it's a bit like a balloon. It can float away. But you've got to make sure you're ready to grab it back. OK, so what was my negative emotion? My first day teaching MIT, I felt worried. What did I do to overcome it? I spoke to another teacher who gave me confidence. What I would like you to do now, is to have a go yourself. Name a time you felt a negative emotion. Maybe it's anger, sadness, anxiety, and write down what you could do if you felt it again. Okay, I'm going to leave this up here. Off you go. Okay, hopefully you've completed that last section about what we can do if we feel one of these very normal human emotions. Okay, talking, as I want to keep repeating myself here, is so important. If you ever feel these, okay, and you're feeling them, particularly if you're feeling them for a long time, you must come and talk to somebody. Talk to an adult. It will make your life a lot better, okay, if you ever did feel like that. So important to share always. Other ways we can think about well-being and happiness. The last section is doing jobs that help in the community where we live. Helping can make us happy. Helping improves our well-being. Okay, giving back. I promise you, it makes other people happy, but it also makes you happy. When we help someone, it can make someone else happy, but it also helps ourselves. Okay, it also helps ourselves. Different jobs you can volunteer to do. Different jobs you can volunteer to do. Volunteering just means doing something for free. You volunteer your time, you give up your time for free. Little things you can do, or little things you can do to help out. You can give to charity, which is what we do sometimes when we do our non-uniform day. I forgot what Miss Ryan calls it, but your non-uniform day, we get to wear your home clothes. That's giving money to charity. Or you can shop at charity shops, because when we shop at charity shops, we know that money's going to a really good place. And it helps others, but it will also help you. And there's nothing wrong, in my opinion, year 2, doing good deeds to help others, knowing it will make you feel good too, because we all want to be happier. And by volunteering and helping out, we make other people happier. You can do litter picking. And I did this when I was your age. We went to a nearby park, a few families, and we all picked up litter and made the park nice and clean. And afterwards, even though, you know, I could have been playing football, I felt super happy that I helped out with my parents in where I was growing up in Birmingham. Okay, I loved it. We might want to read to someone who may be lonely, because there are people who feel that unfortunate human emotion of loneliness. Maybe they've been on their own for a while. Maybe they've not been able to see any friends for a while. But reading to someone, okay, is a really lovely thing to do. You might want to raise some money for charity. You might want to do, I don't know, you might want to sing a song, write a song and sing it and somehow raise money for charity. Maybe do a sponsored silence for a day. I'm not too sure, but raising money for charity will help other people, but will also make you happy, particularly helping within your community. Another thing you can do is wanting the best for others. When you want other people to succeed and do well, and you don't have that sort of jealousy and envy about them doing better, it really will make you happier. Okay, there's a saying which is jealousy is the thief of happiness. Okay, what do I mean by that? If you're worried and jealous about what other people have or are doing, you'll find it hard to be happy. You've got to appreciate what makes you happy, what you're good at, and what you have. Okay, and if you focus on those, you will be happy. Of course, it's okay to want more and have goals to succeed and push yourself, but don't be concerned about what other people have. Okay, focus on what you have and what you want and how you will get there. So really important, if we help out in the community in different ways, such as giving or shopping at charity shops, picking up litter, reading to someone who may be lonely, raising money, you know, even just saying hello to someone. Okay, these are things we can do in our community where we're going to make other people happy and make us happy too. Your last activity I'd like to do this lesson is you drawing yourself doing something in your community to help out. For example, this is me drawing myself here, picking up litter. This is me picking up litter, and I've drawn something of me helping community and me being happy. I would like you to draw yourselves now helping in the community, maybe at a charity shop, maybe picking up litter, maybe doing something else. I don't know. Have a think. What could you do in the community to help out and make you happy? Remember, the key learning today, though, is we want to feel happy, but it's okay sometimes if we don't. If we do feel sad or angry or frustrated, they're human emotions. The best thing to do if we do feel those, talk to someone. Come forward, use the worry box, but talk to your teachers or an adult, and we can always help. Anyway, I'll speak to you all later. Bye bye.